Hello everybody, happy full moon on this full moon in Virgo. I myself am a Virgo, so I am pretty stoked about this full moon. And I was just really getting into it and studying it, and it is so powerful. There's some really intense aspects that I think not a lot of astrologers are talking about because nobody integrates the energy of Aries, the 10th planet that has been discovered. She is the goddess of discord, but she is misunderstood, and I want to talk a little bit about her today and how she's integrated into this full moon. First, I just want to talk about what is happening exactly in aspect to the moon on this full moon. So we have a full moon in Virgo that is opposing the sun in Pisces, right? So those two are always on an axis together. Conjunct, blending with the sun is also Neptune as well as Mercury. Neptune is ruled by Pisces. It rules vision, psychic realms, dreams, illusion, the etheric. Mercury is how our mind works. So all of these are blending in the sign of Pisces, opposing the moon in Virgo. What does all of this mean? It means that there is a very deep, integrated way that Piscean energy is going to manifest into our lives. So the Virgo Pisces axis is Pisces is the water, Virgo is the sun. They're both signs, mutable signs, and they both are connected to serving. They're connected to compassion. They're connected to healing. Pisces is more of the etheric part of that. It's the emotional, etheric, energetic. Virgo is more of the material. So having all of these oppositions on this full moon is really giving us spiritual discipline, spiritual power to charge our material realm with a new type of spiritual energy. The other thing that is happening that is pretty monumental on this full moon is that the Saturn is actually, it's the day after the full moon, but it's pretty much on the full moon. So Saturn is moving into Pisces after 3 years of being in Aquarius. And what's really interesting is that Saturn went into Aquarius in March of 2020. So what happened in March of 2020? We had COVID. That's when COVID really began, right? So that is shifting. That is moving out. We are completing a cycle. We have Saturn at 29 degrees and we have Pluto at 29 degrees. We are completing something massive. We're at a culmination point. The full moon is a culmination point. It is heavy. It pulls the tides of the earth. It pulls them forward. It illuminates what is hidden. So all of these powerful culmination points and these intense oppositions on this full moon that are so spiritually based, so spiritually aware, are giving us a newfound power. So the energy of Virgo is really about work and attention to detail, but really more than that, it's about discernment, and it's about constantly seeing what is not working in our lives and shifting, fixing, evaluating, and refining. So Virgo is the sign of purity. It's the virgin archetype. The reason for that is because Virgos seek the most pure essence of something. I myself know this because I am a Virgo, and I'm constantly seeking purity. Purity, I'm seeking it in people, I'm seeking it in myself, I'm seeking it in nature. I seek a type of purity, and that only comes with refining things in our lives that are not working. So we have this loaded spiritual power that is getting charged with all of these aspects to Pisces on this full moon, charging our inner self, illuminating our inner self, giving us a kind of ability to discern and refine those spiritual parts of ourselves, those spiritual aspects of ourselves that are ready to come forward, that are ready to be integrated into our lives, that we're ready to materialize. So Virgo is able to materialize things. It's able to put them into form, put them into the earth energy. Pisces is very much a dreamer, right? It's very much in its head, or it's out of its body. Virgo can take all that energy and put it into form. And that's really where we're getting charged with a lot on this full moon. So I put really the spiritual health is of very paramount importance right now. Giving yourself ritual time, focus, attention, paying attention to your altar space if you have one. If you do not have one, I recommend building one. I have courses on this to help you create an altar, to help you create a spiritual practice. But really, prayers, journal, nature, time, and space integrated into our lives in a material, tangible way. Not just daydreaming, when we're getting, pumping our gas, but making time and space in our lives that is dedicated to our spiritual practice. This also fits in with Saturn moving into Pisces. So with Saturn moving into Pisces, we are moving into an era of Saturn, whatever it touches, creates discipline around. That is what it does. It creates structure, it creates discipline, it creates routine. And so moving into Pisces, we could use this energy to pay attention to our spiritual world, to pay attention, to bring it into form. Saturn is also linked to the material. It's about manifesting things. So we're having a strong earth manifesting energy of the spirit realm on this full moon. So much has been digested, up-leveled, shifted in the past 3 years. All of us have gone through some kind of a death, and we've been in a perpetual state of rebirth. But this moment of Saturn shifting into Pisces is monumental, and it's time that we kind of take all of that spiritual energy, all of that. We were charged. Aquarius is electricity. Aquarius is an air sign, but it also rules electricity, and it rules technology, and it also rules frequency. So I think a lot of us in the past couple of years our frequency has been changing on planet Earth. Collectively, we've been going through periods of growth and contraction through a fear and love evolution, right? But it's charged us. No matter what, we've been going through some sort of charge, and now it's time to integrate that energy into our spiritual life, into our daily life. I think the last 3 years have been a lot of exhaustion and uncertainty. I mean, yeah, but it's because we've been going through an Aquarian. The age of Aquarius was initiated, and it was like Saturn brought it to the forefront. Now we're moving into Pisces, where we can take that energy and begin to implement it into our lives in a more tangible way. And this full moon in Virgo is giving us that, at that time, that space, that capacity to do that. So the other thing that is happening on this full moon, which is very powerful and potent, is we have Jupiter conjunct Chiron, conjunct Venus, conjunct Eris in the sign of Aries. So we have this powerful Piscean and Virgo axis going on that is charging our spiritual world, helping us put it into material form. And then we have this igniting of a divine feminine power. So I have been saying for a long time that through this 3-year period that we have just recently completed, that the divine feminine is rising. I can feel it in my bones. I can feel it in myself. I see it around me. Everywhere I go, all I hear are women desiring to collectivize. And it's not just women. It's a consciousness. It's a type of energy. And this full moon, we are getting Jupiter, which is the planet of expansion, faith, conjunct, blending with the energies of Chiron, which is the wounded healer, what brings light to our wounds and helps us heal them so that we can become more whole, conjunct the energy of Venus. So Venus is how we love, it's our relationships, how we love ourselves. Then blending with the energy of Aries. Aries is this archetype that is not really talked about much in astrology, but is extremely potent. She's the 10th planet. Astrologers are scared shitless of her. They don't know what to say about her. They don't know how to interpret her. She's very close to me in my own chart, and I feel that I understand her. I feel what she is about. So her blending with the energies of all of these planets during this time, to me, indicates a very profound shift. Because Aries is here on the planet to ignite and empower and push the energy of the divine feminine forward. It's been in the sign of Aries, right? Aries is the birth. It's the initiator. It's the first sign of the zodiac. It rules spring. She was discovered in Aries. Her name is Eris. She is this profoundly potent, divine feminine, alchemical, primordial, intuitive energy that has been suppressed on this planet and in our consciousness, in our human consciousness for a very long time. And she is rising like the serpent, like these earrings. She is rising. So for her to be connected with all of these planets, what I'm seeing is a expansion of wounding around love and the divine feminine within ourselves, how we love ourselves, others, and the planet. So she is fueling the transformation and the passage. This is, to me, a meteoric rise of the divine feminine. That is what I'm seeing. This is a phoenix to the flame moment. We are coming out of this 3-year cycle. We are igniting a flame of the divine feminine within ourselves that is ignited by a wounding, that is ignited by a missing, diseased element within ourselves and the planet, that we feel so deep in our bones that we ache for, that we don't even necessarily know that we ache for it. This wildness, this purity, this healing energy of animals, planet, wildness, truth, the divine feminine, the beauty, the priestess. This energy is coming up out of the shadows, and I see her making a moment, a grand gesture, a stepping forward, a stepping forth on this full moon. So the other thing that's happening on this full moon and with this Aries energy in Aries is that there's lots of aspects to Mars. So I've noticed that when there's lots of aspects to Mars and also Aries is involved, there is an extra push, there is an extra power, there is an extra energy of birth of the divine feminine, of it's like this rumbling that has been hidden inside of all of our souls that we ache for, that we need, that we don't know is missing, that we feel sick without, but we don't know what exactly we need to make us not feel sick. That is the energy of Eris. And she is here to begin to show herself and to rise this energy of healing, transformation, love, beauty, relationships, harmony on the planet. So that is happening while simultaneously we are being asked to up-level our spiritual discipline, to make space in our lives for the holy, integrate ritual, create new pathways of healing. We are really at the end of a massive cycle, you guys. Pluto this month, in about 10 days, is about to go into the sign of of Aquarius, which means that we're at the completion point of Pluto as well in the sign of Capricorn. So what does that mean? That means that we're at the end of a big cycle. And I just would ask you all to ask yourselves, like, what is shifting? What is this cycle that's ending? What are you ready to open up to? What are you ready to receive? What are you ready to ignite? What are you ready to move into? We are at a new paradigm, and we're at the birth of a new paradigm, and it's integrating the energy of the divine feminine and the sacred. And I would ask you to ask yourself how that is showing up in your life. It's a profound moment that we're at, and I'm not taking this lightly at all. I can feel it in my bones that this is happening, and its implications are massive. So I would just ask you to take some time within yourself to understand what this means for you. What is completing? How can you bring in more holiness, more reverence for life, all of life, into your life? All right, that is my full moon message, and I love you all.